Hi, my name's Michelle, and I'm your guide through tips and tricks to help you raise your consciousness and live a life of your dreams, full of abundance and love and financial prosperity and all the things you really want to experience in this life. Today, I'm talking about forgiveness and healing. I have found that forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools in our spiritual toolbox we can use to significantly change our life for the better. I learned about forgiveness, of course, in church, and the way the church taught it, it seemed really hard because it was difficult for me to forgive someone else who hurt me because they're hurting me. And I had to learn and realize that it's not about the other person, it's about me and what's going on in my life. And as long as I hold on to that grudge, it's going to continue to be within me. Still didn't make it that easy. And that's until I learned about this technique called Ho'oponopono, which I learned about several years ago. And there's a fascinating story that goes along with this I would like to share with you. It goes back to the 1980s in Hawaii. In Hawaii State Prison, there was a ward for the criminally insane. These are people that have committed heinous crimes, but they were insane when they did it. So it was a very scary place, a very angry place, a place where every day the patients inside would fight each other. They'd attack the nurses and the administrators. It was a dangerous place. It was so awful that even when I read the book, the paint would peel off the walls. When they freshly painted, it would not stay on the walls. It was not a positive place. They needed to do something different. What they did was they hired a man named Dr. Hugh Lin. He is a psychologist who is from Hawaii, and he had modernized a technique called Ho'oponopono, which is an ancient Hawaiian healing method for forgiveness that had been used in ancient times to heal distress within families. He modernized it so that it could be used in psychological settings, and he took it to the hospital with him. What happened is nothing short of miraculous. Within 4 years, the entire ward was shut down. What happened? That means that every single patient in that ward was either healed and medically discharged, or they were transferred to another facility which was much less severe, because they'd healed. And how did he do this? In fact, the paint even stayed on the walls. I mean, everything changed. The fighting changed. There was no more fighting. The nurses started to feel safe. The administrators and the nurses came to work every day. There was no more absenteeism. In fact, there was a waiting list to get into work in that ward. It was a beautiful place. And Dr. Hugh Lin did all this without ever meeting with one of these patients. He never did the classic sit down and have a conversation and discuss the issues. No. He did actually play tennis with them at times socially, but he never met with them in a professional way. What he did is he went into his office and he would pull out their file and he would read their file. And as he read it, he would notice something within himself. And then he would do this procedure, which is the Ho'opono procedure. And is based on a philosophy that we are 100% responsible for our lives and everything we perceive in our lives. And when we're born, we have a clean slate. But as we are developing, things happen to us, particularly in the first 7 years of life, when we are completely unconscious, where those beliefs come in and they are stored in our subconscious and they are not positive. So you also have an energy field all the way around you, and all of your memories and your data from your subconscious is stored out around you. And when you have something negative happen to you, it creates like a short circuit in your energy field. And what happens is you have this short circuit, and so now you'll be meeting with someone else and someone will be attracted to you who has that same short circuit, and you're going to keep experiencing this negative experience over and over because it'll be reflected to you by someone else. So what he did is he realized that he was seeing these people as unhealed because there was something inside of him that was unhealed. There was a data point or a memory or an experience from his past that was unhealed. And once he healed that experience, he was allowing the divine to come in and create peace and tranquility within his own subconscious. And because he was healed on the inside, his outside automatically shifted, which is exactly what they talk about in quantum physics, that indeed we live in a holographic universe. And everything we perceive on the outside is simply a reflection of who we are on the inside. This world isn't real. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but scientists are proving that this world is simply a 3D, very realistic holographic experience that we observe, and it looks real, but it is not real. And it is based on everything we have going on in our subconscious. So that's what Dr. Hugh Lin did. He worked on healing the beliefs that were inside of his subconscious that were seeing these people as unhealed. And as they did that, miraculously, these people healed. And all he did was utter 4 short phrases. And when he had healed himself, the outside world healed. Here are the 4 short phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. Why do you say I'm sorry? You're saying, I'm sorry that I have this unconscious belief inside me that's causing me to perceive you as less than divine. Please forgive me for having this unconscious belief. Thank you, we're expressing gratitude here, for giving me the opportunity to heal this inside myself so that we are both healed. And I love you, which puts us back to where we are. Our natural state is a high vibration of love. As he did these 4 statements over and over and over again, he was clearing the data points within him that were incorrect, and everything else in his life completely shifted. So that's what we want to do. I began using this in my own life when I had a particularly nasty boss in the past who was very mean and sarcastic and would cut me down. And I began using this technique, but it didn't come just from the boss. What really it was from my grandmother. So this is a long process within my family. My grandmother, who was probably abused herself, she was a very unhappy, nasty, mean lady. And she cut and abused and cut down people and was super sarcastic to all her children and everyone who knew her. I mean, she was not a nice lady. So I personally did not like being around her, and she said some pretty mean things to me. But she also then took her children, and then they were misabused and misaligned, and so they raised us. And we were also had negative opinions of ourselves because my mom did the best she could, but she also had unhealed parts in her that were very mean and sarcastic. And I told many people, I mean, my mom could cut you off at the knees, just 2 words, and you were like shivering on the ground, just flopping around. You're like, what happened to me? Oh my gosh, this is so bad. So I have this within me, these beliefs, and I'm thinking I only deserve to be treated poorly. So if I've got that belief in my energy field, guess what? It's going to be reflected back to me again and again until I finally heal it. So I did that, knowing that indeed my boss was simply just another reminder, another reflector back to me of something that was a challenge within my subconscious. As I began doing this technique within a couple of weeks, I started to feel like a new person. I really began to love and accept myself. I saw myself in a better way. And sure enough, don't you know, my boss changed. So this is something that is very easy to do. When he changed, it was like as if it had never occurred, as if he'd never been this meanie. And that's the thing. I started using it with everything. I have had social phobia. And I was never able to make friends and certainly was never invited to a dinner party. And I started doing the ho'oponopono on those beliefs inside me that I'm unworthy to have friends. And I remember the day that I got invited to my first dinner party, and I wasn't young. And it was just a few years ago. And then the interesting thing is as if it always was natural. Now it's, of course, I meet people and they invite me over to their home for dinner. Of course, I easily make friends. When you heal that part inside you, everything else just naturally changes. And it's as if it always was that way. You forget how you used to be. I can remember being so socially awkward, but I don't feel the angst anymore over it because I now know that I'm a good person and I'm a likable person. And of course, people are going to invite me over. So I'm going to invite you to start trying this technique in your life. You just need to take, and I'm going to say 15 minutes, but you can take the uh, meditation that I've created and play it on YouTube, play it in the background as you're getting ready for your work, or you're walking the dog, or you're driving the car, or you can even play it at nighttime, put it on repeat and play it quietly as you go to sleep, and then it will go directly into your subconscious and start healing those unconscious parts of you which are giving you some uncomfortable experiences now. It's 4 simple phrases, and I recommend that you set an intention before you start it. For example, I set an intention that I plan to heal the experience with my boss, and then I would imagine him and imagine like a pink glow around him of love. And I would start saying the phrase, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And I would say it over and over and over. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Just uttering these 4 words will have a magical experience in your life as it did in my life. Take the next 21 days, do this every day, and watch your life just unfold beautifully like a beautiful, beautiful rose or a sunset going down over the ocean. You will feel such peace and love and joy. So let me know how it goes in the comments. Please like and subscribe to my videos and come back tomorrow for my meditation of Ho'oponopono set to very soft music that you can listen to and basically heal your life on automatic. Have a great day. I love you and thank you.